What is up, guys? It is the Bluebloods here, back with another week 4 preview, man. We've had a few these past few days. We had one this morning. Make sure to go check that out on our week 4 playlist that you can find on our homepage. Also, smash that subscribe button and the like button on this video if you're new. Appreciate y'all tuning in, man. It's gonna be a great weekend of college football, but let's get right into it. We have such an interesting matchup in terms of the ACC Atlantic division this weekend. We got the number 9 Clemson Tigers traveling to take on the NC State Wolfpack in Carter Finley Stadium this Saturday, 2:30 p.m. Central Time, live on ESPN. Clemson is a 10-point favorite currently, and this one could turn the ACC on its head in terms of that ACC championship race. Both of these programs have something to prove. They have questions surrounding their program, and a win here will go a long way to establishing momentum for the rest of the season for both of these teams. Now, for storylines, Clemson comes in at 2-1, but many people are wondering if the Tigers can realistically make a run to the college football playoff this year. You look at the struggles they had against Georgia Tech last week. The Yellow Jackets gave Clemson all they wanted and more in Death Valley last week, a 14-8 win for the Tigers. DJ still doesn't look comfortable. The running game has been hit or miss. Will Shipley had a decent game last week, but the defense right now is dragging Clemson through this season. So this would be a great time to get a huge conference road win, get all that positive momentum, and really quiet some of the doubters in that Clemson camp right now. Now, for NC State, they also come in at 2-1. They fell to Mississippi State in week 2, but they got 2 big wins otherwise, and they're looking to make a huge statement with an upset win over the Tigers and prove that this team is ready to compete for an ACC championship. Devin Leary at quarterback has been outstanding. Zonovan Knight at running back. And this team overall is one of the better NC State teams that we have seen over the past few years. And now, in terms of this matchup, Clemson has won 15 of the last 16 games, and they're all currently on an 8-game win streak, in which only 2 of those games have been a one-score matchup. So Clemson has dominated this series, and right now NC State is looking like, man, if we could pull this upset, it would be a program-defining win if we could upset this Dabo Swinney-led Clemson Tigers team. So let's get into the keys of the game, man, because this one's going to be extremely competitive, in my opinion. I'm so excited to see this game. But if the Tigers, man, it's all about getting this offense back on track, because nothing has really gone right as they've been up against FBS opponents in Georgia Tech and Georgia. The run game's been inconsistent. The offensive line has had lapses. Wide receiver has been a question mark. Outside of the defense for this Clemson team, nothing has really shined or, really caught anyone's eye other than, the struggles of this offense. The key for me here, though, is to make DJ comfortable in the pocket, let him gain his confidence, and also just show what he can do when he gets the ball to his playmakers in open space on the outside. Now, he's really struggled. I understand he looks out of rhythm. He looks uncomfortable. He's completed less than 60% of his passes, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions for DJ, and he's just really failed to push the ball down the field. Only 33% of his passes, guys, have traveled beyond 10 yards down the field. And Mississippi State showed you can push the ball down the field on this NC State defense. So DJ has to come prepared to throw the ball, get the ball to his talented wide receivers on the outside, and trust his offensive line to win the matchup at the line of scrimmage. This is the perfect opportunity for DJ to show everybody exactly why he was tabbed the future of Clemson football. This is the moment to do it. This is the defense to do it against. You need to air it out and just at least get some throws in and show that you can make those downfield passes. You can get the ball to your playmakers. You've got to build confidence going into some of the tougher games you have coming up on your schedule later this season. Now, the other problem for Clemson, and that's why I don't put everything on DJ on this offense, and I think they're going to be okay down the stretch. The depth at the wide receiver spot has been concerning. Really and truly, it's been a 2-man show. Joseph Ngata and Justin Ross have been the only guys who have consistently shown they can go get their own separation and produce at a high level. These guys have combined for 25 catches for over 300 yards and a touchdown. No other wide receiver on the roster right now for this season has over 3 catches or over 40 yards for the Tigers. That is the most ridiculous stat in this offense. And the 2 tight ends, including Braden Galloway, have more catches and yards than some of the other wide receivers on this team. E.J. Williams, Frank Latson, I believe it's Aju, have to step up at the wide receiver spot this weekend. They have to go make some plays for the Tigers. And this wide receiving unit and this team is too talented to keep production as low as it has been this season. The Tigers have to get DJ some high percentage looks early. They got to keep this offense, in front of the chains, on track. Don't let them get behind. Don't let them get behind the sticks while letting their wide receivers go out and make plays in space against a vulnerable secondary for NC State. You have to trust E.J. Williams. You have to trust Justin Ross, Latson, and Gata, all of them to go out there and show why they were the highly rated recruits that you brought them into Clemson for. Let DJ just throw some quick short passes, get that confidence up, and show that you can push the ball up the field with DJ throughout this game. That's my key for Clemson. Now, on the flip side for NC State, it's the complete opposite. The key for NC State starts and ends with the rushing attack. It's carried the team through the first few weeks of the season, and when Mississippi State shut the run game down, it made the Wolfpack one-dimensional, and things got tough for this offense as they only put up 10 points in Starkville that week. They have a 2-headed monster, Zonovan Wright, Ricky Person Jr., and they will have to keep fresh bodies in the backfield against this dominant and really and truly troublesome front seven for Clemson. I mean, that they got talent everywhere. I love what that front seven for the Tigers bring. They're going to be hard to block. They will be in the backfield, and really and truly, this rushing game has to find a way to make some space on the inside of this offensive line. Now, Knights has over 300 yards rushing, averaging 8 yards a carry and 2 touchdowns. Person 165, averaging over 5 yards per carry and 3 touchdowns. So both of these guys can produce at a high level and be that lead back. Now, the Wolfpack has utilized the left side of the offensive line for their rushing attack. Not surprising, Grant Gibson at center and Chandler Zavala at left guard are the senior leaders of this offensive line. And Akeem, I believe it's Awanu at left tackle, is one of the most promising young sophomore offensive linemen in the country. Some people think he could be a potential first-round pick in the coming years. So there's no question that this left side of the offensive line is by far the strongest. And they've had the most success running at the left side B gap and also off the left tackle spot. That these spots have accounted for over 330 total rushing yards, 4 touchdowns, and they're averaging 7 yards per carry running off tackle and in that B gap on the left side of this offensive line. It's going to be interesting given the strength of Clemson's defensive line, and also Tyler Davis at D tackle is out for this game. We already know Brian Barisi is going to be in the middle of that defensive line, and he's going to be a factor. But I believe it's Ruke Orhorio is going to be stepping in for Tyler Davis. Can he step up and, make the type of impact that Davis did? Because when they lost Davis, I believe it was last season, the defense really struggled to replace him on the inside of that defensive line. So can Rook replace him on the inside of the line next to Barisi? And that is going to be a huge factor to look for, especially because we know NC State is going to want to establish the run. Now, NC State also has to find a way to control the pace of this game, keep themselves in third and manageable situations, because once Clemson can pin their ears back on third and longs, Brent Venables is one of the best defensive minds of the country, and he is going to blitz you. He's going to do it creatively, and you're not going to be able to stop it. Ask Alabama, ask Notre Dame last year in the ACC Championship, ask anyone who Clemson has played over the past few years. Brent Venables in third and long situations is a madman, and he was going to get to the quarterback one way or another. So you have to stay in front of the chains and stay on pace if you're this NC State offense. Now, for the matchup to watch, there was a few I could have went with. It has to be the Clemson offensive line versus the front seven for the Wolfpack, though, because this Tigers O-line has been inconsistent. At times, they failed to create rushing lanes, along with failing to make DJ feel comfortable in the pocket. But it's weakness for it's not weakness, but it's inconsistency versus another inconsistent unit in the Wolfpack D line. They have not been a huge factor this year. So which of these units can really step up this week and improve that it just took them a little while to get going and have a big game to lead their team to victory? The Clemson O-line has had their moments of excellence, but the consistency has not been there this season, and it really stems from the right side of this offensive line failing to consistently pass block. Will Putnam and Walker Parks, right guard and right tackle, have allowed 4 sacks, 10 hurries, and 13 pressures this season. Just from that right side of the offensive line, they are by far the weakest link, and they have to step up this weekend. Matt Brockhorst at center and Jordan McFadden at the other tackle spot have been the bright spots. And really and truly, if this offensive line can form some type of chemistry and click this weekend, I think Clemson's offense is just is ready to explode and experience a huge takeoff in productivity if these one or two little things can go differently for this offense. So the offensive line chemistry, especially on that right side, is something to really watch out for Clemson this weekend. Now, if this offensive line can control the line of scrimmage, the X factor becomes Will Shipley for me. I think he is a breakout star waiting to explode onto the college football scene. Over 175 rushing, 4 touchdowns, averaging over 5 yards per carry in 3 games this season. He has really established himself as the number 1 option at running back. Pace and Lynn J. Dixon have not been effective at running back for the Tigers. So watch out for Shipley if this Tiger offensive line can win this matchup, because he has the ability to be a game changer and really help DJ open up this offense this weekend. Now, this NC State defensive line has failed to generate a consistent pass rush. This has to change this weekend if they want to pull the upset over the Tigers. Only 2 sacks this season and only getting pressure on 26 dropbacks through 3 games. It really hurt their chances against Mississippi State because Will Rogers was able to sit back there and make the throws needed to win that game. Now, Daniel Joseph and Corey Durden are going to be the 2 senior leaders of this D-line. They're going to be players to watch off the edge, especially whoever matches up with Parks on that right side of that Clemson offensive line. Now, CJ Clark at the nose guard spot is going to be the X factor for NC State in this matchup. True freshman, he's going to have to step up and have one of the better games of his career and try to shut down this Clemson run game and also try to find a way to make DJ uncomfortable. Something has to give here. If Clemson can protect DJ and establish some sort of a rushing game, Clemson, in my opinion, is going to have a great shot to win this game and win it convincingly. But if DJ gets uncomfortable, makes a few mistakes like he's been prone to do when he gets under pressure, and the Clemson run game's not there, NC State absolutely is going to put the Tigers on upset alert. Now, for my official prediction, man, I think this game is a low-scoring game early. I would be no surprise at all if it was like 10-3, 7-3, something like that at halftime. I think it's going to be a slow first half for both teams. Something tells me that, like I said, this Clemson offense is just one or two pieces from executing efficiently and operating at a high level. I think their talent's there at wide receiver. EJ Williams is someone to watch. Will Shipley, to me, is going to be the one guy that I think could change the game. I just think Clemson has too many playmakers. Their defense is too good, and that they're going to be able to get pressure on NC State and really slow down Zonovan Knight. And we're going to see a similar matchup as we saw against Mississippi State, where the NC State offense really just can't establish drives, and then that defense is going to wear down the stretch. So I have Clemson winning this game 27-13 this weekend. I just personally think Clemson is just too good for NC State to pull the upset. And I know that they haven't played the most outstanding football, but for me, Clemson is too talented to lose this game this weekend. I think DJ is waiting to have his best game this weekend. And I really think this NC State defensive line not being able to consistently rush the passer gives DJ the best shot to have his best game of the season. I think Will Shipley does his thing, and Brent Venables, man, I never doubt him in a matchup like this. They're going to get after Devin Leary, and if Zonovan Knight and that rushing game can't get going, Clemson's going to pull away late, 27-13 over NC State. Guys, like I said, if you're new, smash the subscribe button, and also if you made it to this point, go ahead and comment your score predictions below, comment your takeaways of the game, and also, man, share the video with any of your friends, colleagues, anything like that, man. Help us out, get the word out. We got the best, most in-depth college football content on YouTube right now, no doubt in my mind. So hit that subscribe button and share the video, man. But we'll be back tomorrow with some more Week 4 college football previews, man. So make sure to tune in for that. But for right now, guys, the Blue Bloods are out.